Hello, Ani, and welcome to the iPads in the Classroom online tutorial all about the App Store. This is part 1. This is brought to you by Kendigawentag, and I'm your host, Jennifer Holub. The App Store is not a real store that you can drive to, but an online virtual store where we purchased what's called apps. App is a short form for applications. Applications are specific tools for the iPad, such as the camera is an app, the calendar is an app, and the maps are an app. All of these are apps. You can organize apps into folders like I've done here with my video apps. We've got the CBC for Kids and the National Film Board app, but they're very useful. So, the App Store is located here. Everyone has one on their iPads, and you need an Apple ID to access the App Store. An Apple ID is basically like an account. When you set up your Apple ID, it'll ask you for a credit card. You don't have to submit a credit card number, but if you do, it'll charge app purchases to your credit card. Or you can purchase gift cards at stores like Future Shop, Staples, Best Buy, etc., and use those to purchase apps. A lot of apps are free though, so you can get away with just using free apps and making use of what's out there for free. So we first want to check to see what Apple ID is registered onto this device, and if you're using a school computer, I'd strongly recommend that you are aware of which Apple ID you're using. It's good to know whether it's the same one for the entire school or if it's individual by teacher. That means that you'll be able to find out who's responsible also for purchasing apps at your school, which is useful information. That information is here in Settings. So we're going to go into Settings, click, and we're going to scroll down on the left-hand side until we get to iTunes and App Store. I'll press on that, and my iPad is set up with my Apple ID, which is my email address. Okay, so that is the App Store Apple ID. So we'll click out of that by pressing on the Home button, and let's get right into the App Store. Here at the bottom we've got 5 buttons, and those are very useful. Featured, top charts, Genius, Purchased, and Updates. Those are all very important to know about. We'll start with Featured. So featured is the featured apps. It's like when you go into a department store and the first thing that you walk by are all the new pants and shirts of the season. They're basically featuring everything that's new on the market. So similarly in the App Store, that's what this part of the App Store does. As you can see, it's very exciting, very flashy, and if we scroll down, we'll notice that there's quite a few things being featured. Okay, up here at the top, they've got an Education tab, which is very convenient for us as educators. I've clicked onto that, and all of these apps are for education. So you can scroll through and see what's featured here. We've got apps for high school, apps for preschool and kindergarten, Intro to Colors, Beethoven Symphony apps, Pocket Anatomy, Grandma's Kitchen, all different kinds of apps. If we scroll down, we'll see this. This is a standard feature in the featured aspect. It's all the subject areas: physics, chemistry, ESL, which is English as a second language, reading, writing, math, music, history, etc. Let's say that we wanted to find some apps for writing. So I'll click onto that, and we'll let it load here. Okay, so a few things to keep in mind. The prices are always listed beneath the apps. It looks like here for the writing apps, they're organized: storytelling, preparing, writing, etc. So let's go into the writing. I'm going to try to find one that's free so I can show you exactly how to download, and it looks like we have a few. Let's look at Poetry Creator. This looks like a fun one. There's no surefire way to know if you're going to like an app or not. Probably the best way is to see if anyone else you know has downloaded it and get their feedback, or even try it on their iPad. But when you click on this app, it's not going to download right away. This is just a way of finding out more information about it. Okay, so we have some screenshots, which means pictures of the screen once the app is installed on your device, and the screenshots show you what it'll look like Looks very user-friendly, very colorful and exciting. That might be good for students. We've got a description here and more information about the app itself. Up here we have ratings and reviews, and sometimes if the app has been on the market for a while, they will have some very useful reviews here. Looks like someone has reviewed this as a wonderful app for creative types. It has a relatively high rating, but sometimes you won't get a lot of ratings if the app is new. In the related section we have apps that are related to this. Apparently slot machines are related to poetry. Well, that's news to me. So let's say that you want to go ahead and purchase this app. You would, right here it says free, so that's because it's free, but if they have a price it'll say that there. But this is the button you press if you'd like to install it, and then you press again once it turns green. And you'll know it's working if you see the progress bar pop up there and start. I can actually exit out of the App Store right now and see that the Poetry app is right there installing. The blue progress bar will move across, and once it's finished I can open up the app and try it out. So, just a few things to finish off with our discussion about Part 1 of the App Store. Here you'll see a 44 in red. That means that I have 44 updates to apps that I've already purchased that need to be updated. It's important to do those updates because when apps are first released, they're not perfect. Sometimes you might notice a certain app that crashes every once in a while if you have used it for more than a few minutes. Those are called bugs. And they often release bug fixes with these updates. So the updates are important to do. You'll see that 44 is down here at the bottom, so that's where the updates are. We'll click on that. And these are all the apps that need to be updated. These are apps, again, that I've already purchased, but that just need to be updated. Kind of like if you get a recall notice about your Toyota in the mail. Whoops, we gotta go check the wheel bearings or something like that. That's kind of similar, and they'll check it for free and fix it if it needs to be fixed, all that kind of stuff. So updates are very easy to do. Let's say I want to update the Sentence Builder app. I just update, press on that, and it'll start installing the update, again free of charge, and these updates are very important to do. Okay, so let's look back at this Poetry app. It's finished now, and because I haven't used it yet, it has a little blue new label on it, so let's get into it. Okay, so there we are. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed Part 1 of the App Store, and Part 2 we will cover how to recover lost apps and the other features of the App Store. Thank you for joining me.